All of the binds in this video relate to version 2.8 and later. Timestamps are in the description below. So Blender has a lot of controls to do lots of different stuff, many of which you will need to access fairly frequently. It is possible to use the UI for most functions, especially common ones, but I will actively encourage that you learn the keybinds for these tasks, since it's both the intended way and the faster way to work with Blender. So, selecting. It's now actually reasonable. It used to be right click, but now it's left click to select things. You can press A to select everything and quickly double tap A to deselect everything. Press C to enable circle select mode. Scroll up and down to adjust the size of the circle, left click to select, middle click to deselect, and press right click or escape to exit circle select mode. Press B to enable box select mode. Click and drag with the left mouse button to select things. Press right click or escape to exit box select mode. It is also possible to box select by clicking and dragging at any time if you have the box select tool enabled. View manipulation. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate your view. Hold down shift and middle mouse button to pan your view. And you can either hold down control and middle mouse button or scroll your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. View switching. If you have a numpad, then you can, on that numpad, press 1 for the front orthographic view, press 7 for the top orthographic view, press 3 for the right orthographic view, press 0 to move your view to what the camera sees, or press the period key to move your view to the current selection. You are also able to do the opposite orthographic views by holding Control and pressing the corresponding key. So for example, holding Control and pressing 1 will give you the back orthographic view. If you do not have a numpad, then you can press the tilde key, the little squiggly one, to access a small pop-up which will let you do the same thing. Transforming. You press G to move an object around the scene. You can press R to rotate an object. And you can press S to scale an object. Axis locking. Press the key for the corresponding axis, so that's X, Y, or Z, to lock a transform to that axis. It is also possible to lock to 2 axes at a time by holding Shift and pressing the one axis you don't want to lock to. So for example, holding Shift and pressing Z will lock your transform to the X and Y axes. Mode switching. Holding Control and pressing Tab will bring up a menu of the various modes you can enter. For now, you only need to worry about Object Mode, the mode you start off in when you open Blender, and Edit Mode. Since you will often switch between Object and Edit modes, pressing Tab will allow you to quickly switch between the two modes. Just make sure that when you do switch modes, you have an object in the scene selected. So just a quick side note about object and edit modes. Object mode is when you are able to select and manipulate larger objects in a scene. This is the mode that you start off in Blender when you first open it up. And edit mode is where you are able to select and manipulate individual faces, edges, and vertices of a single object. Mesh manipulation. So while in edit mode, you can press 1 on the num row to enter vert selection mode. You can press 2 on the num row to enter edge selection mode. You can press 3 on the num row to enter face selection mode. When selecting verts, edges, or faces, you can hold down Shift to select multiple at a time. Press E to extrude your selection. You can axis lock your extrusion, and you can do it to verts, edges, and faces. Generally speaking, you want to only extrude faces unless you know what you're doing. Press I to inset a face. Hold Control and press R to enter edge loop mode. This will allow you to create a loop through a series of quads, which are faces with 4 verts. Left click on the face you wish to loop through, move your mouse to select where along the edge you would like to place the loop, and then press left click again to place the loop. So there's a lot of binds discussed here, but the vast majority of them will form a core of your main workflow when using Blender, so it's a good idea to get used to them now.